Okay, let's see here. So I think as we close out, I feel like there's one last thing that I want to touch on.
Okay.
Which is Snickerdoodles.
Oh, we've come back. We've come full circle. We have more Snickerdoodle fallout.
Oh my gosh, it's been the funniest thing ever. Like the number of people that I mean, we've dropped some strong opinions about We Things on this show. I mean, we're known for
There's
it.
no doubt.
It's basically the tagline of the show.
Yeah.
And yet somehow Snickerdoodles maybe taking forehead microphones cake.
Wow.
For most responded to topic. so if you recall, several months ago, we didn't know that the little dots on Broadway actors' heads were microphones.
Right.
And we thought it had something to do with like a bunch of other things. And we speculated. And
We were wrong.
And tons of people messaged me and they were like, they're microphones. Now tons of people have messaged me saying, how dare you slander?
We're not. The thing is, we're not slandering ye old Snickerdoodle. You know, I mean, they're not the best cookies by far, obviously.
Yeah, you're just throwing fuel on the fire.
I would never. They're just the worst named cookie. However, since then, I've in the flurry of emails, the information and from Snickerdoodle defenders galore.
Yeah.
We have. Worldwide. Although it's mostly just an American cookie, I've learned.
Okay.
Learned much about the Snickerdoodles. We had a Google Hangout call where we were given much information from one of our patrons over on Super Carlin Brothers, Texas, who was from Julia, had much information to share. And I thought it was all quite fascinating.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that she brought up is that apparently at some point in time in history, there were like these like cookie naming conventions.
Now,
Is that right?
She did bring that up.
Okay.
And I am unsure if that is accurate.
Oh, interesting.
Because I looked up, I was like, cookie naming convention, like there must be all sorts of hilarious things that came out of this. But if you just Google cookie naming convention, like I couldn't get anything to come up. And I was like, I swear this is what Tex told us. So I actually messaged her on Discord. She sent me a bunch of links, none of which included the cookie naming convention. Sorry, Julia. But there is a New England tradition, nonetheless, of naming cookies whimsical, nonsensical things that have nothing to do with what they taste like.
And see, this is like even when she told me the idea of the cookie naming convention, I was like, that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying Snickerdoodle is not a fantastic name for a cookie. It's just not the best name for this cookie. Like, and and again, I go back to my defense that I feel like the reason that this cookie has been able to exist for so long is, and here's the thing, cookies are delicious, right? You know, it's like, so a bunch of people are like, how, like, you know, this is my favorite cookie. And it's like, cookies are good. I'm not arguing with that. I mean, you know, they're heckin' delicious. But could it be the case that that still part of the reason that you even know what it is to begin with is because its name was even better than the cookie itself?
Absolutely, I think that's the case for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, though, where the name came from is indeed a point of contention.
Okay.
It turns out that the name is older than the name Snickers for the candy bar. So Snickerdoodles came first, at least they started arriving in like cookbooks and stuff.
Okay.
So there is that. I will say that I don't, obviously though, Snickers weren't named after Snickerdoodles. Obviously they don't taste the same or have any of the same ingredients at all.
Right.
And Snicker bars were named after a horse. So that's even better. And I think they've really put the word Snicker to its ultimate use. Much more than the cookie ever has, but nonetheless, there is some theories as to where it came from. One is that it is of German origin and that it is a corruption of the German word, I'm going to say it wrong, Schneckennoodle. Schneckennoodle? Schneckennoodle. Oh boy. SCHNECKENNUDEL. That.
I cannot be convinced that this is not the origin.
You can't believe that's. It's very close.
It feels very close. It feels like they were like, we need a more, you know, if we're gonna sell these on the New England streets of America,
right?
It needs to be like they were like, we need a name that feels more.
Yeah, I can see them initially trying to call it that, and people being like, "What's that? Can I get the Sneckendoodle?" and they'd be like, the what? The Snickerdoodle. And then eventually we're just like, did you say Snickerdoodle? That's a funny word.
Let's do that instead.
Yeah. However, the other possible name origin is that it is a complete nonsense word with no particular meaning, which sounds all too true. And that it is simply part of a New England tradition of whimsical cookie names. And there are a bunch. So it turns out that I think our complaints are pretty well founded, because there is a whole list of other silly whimsical cookie names that have come out of New England.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, what this reads, because I've never heard of any of these for the most part. Maybe some of you have. But to me, what it seems like is there was like a whole bunch of just complete whimsy, and it's like the fact is they all were nonsensical. And so for the most part, they all just fell. And there's like one lone standing survivor of like the whimsy, and it's the Snickerdoodle.
Which is because it's a great name for a
good
cookie.
name.
Yeah.
Because it's a good name. It might have even, I don't know, maybe it was the best tasting one anyway. And here's some other ridiculous cookie names you might be familiar with, I guess, if you're from New England. Joe Froggers.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, what do you think's in a Joe Frogger?
Coffee and frogs.
Coffee and frogs. They are actually more of a molasses cookie. It seems like it's got ginger, cloves, allspice, and nutmeg. So it really seems like a Christmas cookie.
Okay.
Dare I say?
But no frogs.
No frogs.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah. Again, doesn't do what it says on the box.
Yeah, no,
It's going to be a big theme here.
Okay.
Jumbles.
Okay.
You want a jumble?
Okay. Oh, I would imagine a jumble to be like maybe very inexact in shape and size. So like in my mind, I would imagine a very sticky dough where you would maybe like almost need to have like a little bit of a like velocity based plop, so that you would take like a glop of it,
Yeah.
and you would be like glop right onto your baking tray with your parchment paper, and how it would fall would be in a very like chaotic, like arm reachy pattern.
Okay.
And so when it was cooked, you'd have a jumble.
Okay. Interesting. So my initial take when I heard the word jumble was that it was going to be like a kitchen sink cookie. Like you just jumbled up everything else it had left.
Pretty good. That's pretty
right.
good.
Now, the real point, I'll tell you what the jumble cookie is, but the real point is that the name did not dictate at all what we were to experience, because we obviously both had what sounds like pretty reasonable interpretations, neither of which are accurate.
Okay. What is a jumble like?
A jumble cookie is a simple butter cookie made with the basic recipe of flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. They can be flavored with vanilla, anise, or caraway seeds used for flavoring, or almond. So basically, it's just a sugar cookie. Is what it sounds like.
You have got to be kidding
I
me
know.
with the name Jumbles.
Jumbles.
Take a hike, Jumbles.
Get out of here.
I'm not even interested.
Plunkets.
I would stick to literally jumbles and plunkets. It could be the same thing.
Could be the same thing. They're not. Plunkets is just a different word for monkey bread.
Okay.
Monkey bread. I will grant that monkey bread does not also do what it says on the box, per se.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I think that I could see because monkey bread tends to, at least the way that I think of monkey bread is that it is groups of irregular shapes.
Yeah.
So I feel like at the very least, it's not like a circular.
It's not like a cookie.
It's not like a disc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not anyway. It's not describing a cookie, and that's really the difference here.
Okay.
Also, this I think is another one. As far as like monkey bread, like you might not know what that is, but you probably do know what it is, because I would say that like if you hear monkey bread, you know exactly what it is, because it is so good. Of course it is. It's just like loaded with like fat and sugar.
Yeah.
And it's very dense and tasty. If you've never had it, you should try it. But it has such like a commanding, powerful like awesomeness to it that the Snickerdoodle does not have, I think.
Oh, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if the Snickerdoodle cookies tasted as robust as monkey bread did, I think I could get over the name, but they just don't.
Okay.
They have such a medium flavor to them. Next up, crybabies.
Okay, I mean, there's no way for me to not think that this would somehow be like a sour.
I know. That's
cookie.
where I go. It's like I get like the Sour Patch Kid nature to it or something.
So like I almost like it makes my tongue sort of have like a film on it just to think about it.
Yeah. These actually are closer to your earlier guess. They have got molasses, coffee, cinnamon, ginger, cloves. Those are the main ingredients or the main flavors anyway.
Okay.
So it has the coffee in it.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know. I see a couple more on here. I mean, we've got let's see here, Graham Jakes, Jolly Boys, the Brambles, Tangle Breeches.
Yeah. And my favorite, ready?
Yeah.
Kinkawoodles.
Wow.
Kinkawoodles, which are literally also just Snickerdoodles. It's just somehow an even less effective name.
I feel like the same bakery was like, okay, we got like the Snickerdoodles. Like, what could we do? Like, they sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
So what should we get? You know what? They literally hotcakes.
They could have like a ledger where they compare the sales of hotcakes and Snickerdoodles.
Yeah. But I feel like they were like, okay, like these Snickerdoodles, they do really well. So like, what could we do that's like Snickerdoodle? We could do like what's it like oodle, kinkawoodle.
Kinkawoodles.
And it's like this almost sounds like someone who like makes up a word on the spot, and it's not very good.
Right. So anyway, Kinkawoodles. Those are some other nonsense cookie names that exist.
Okay. So I want the people at home to know that we hear you, we see you, we understand where you're coming from,
Right.
that maybe we didn't speak so highly of your beloved Snickerdoodles, but I still can't help but feel like history, culture is on our side, which is to say that these cookies came from a particular part of the world, which is known for applying nonsensical names that don't have very much at all to do with the product itself.
I will give the Snickerdoodle props for being like the lone survivor of the nonsense names.
Absolutely. I think that there is testament to that. But I also think that that's true to point, which is the fact that it's a great name for a cookie. So sight unseen, anybody being told that a Snickerdoodle is or able to be on the physical table, it's like, well, yeah, I want that. That sounds good. It sounds a heck of a lot better than a crybaby.
You want to eat some crybabies?
Or a Jolly Boy.
The Jolly Boys had bacon in them.
Well, that sounds kind of cool.
It does. It has bacon.